Hey, this is a fun video. I've decided to call it, let's see just how the case is. So if you watched one of the previous videos, you saw me go ahead and change the oil on the case because I didn't like the color. Well, this is the bucket. I've let it settle for a week and poured off the top. It just reeks, just stinks of carbon. Absolutely stinks of carbon. I do not see an awful lot of non-magnetic, non-ferrous metals. I expected to see a rotisserie, a glitter, a unicorn fart of babbitt and copper and aluminum. And I don't see any of that in there at all. There are some large chunks floating around on the bottom. They appear to be physical chunks of carbon out of the motor. I've also cut open the oil filter. This one happens to be a 1452, which is interesting because the filter I sourced to put back in it is a 1515. Actually, they showed this one too and said the 1515 was cheaper. So I did that. They're both Napa gold filters, so they're both a high quality wicks. But I have not yet pulled that. This is our first look. I'm going to assume all that in there is from cutting it open, because if it's not, this is a very short video. So I have not pulled this out yet. What do I see? To be honest, I don't actually see a lot. I don't see any chunks of metal down in the pleats. In the bottom of the can, I do see some stuff down there. Granted, a lot of that could be from the rough way I cut it open. I'd say it's promising. You know, this oil filter and oil had been put in for 12/18, so it does not have a lot of hours on it. It has the dirt that we moved in preparation for cutting the septic field in, which we didn't dig in, so it wasn't our machine. It has moving all that rock, bucketing firewood around, stuff like that, that the motor just has not been run very much. A number of folks, and I think Paul's name is jumping out at me, suggested that it could have simply been junk already left over in the motor, especially with the conversion from 30 weight to a detergent 1540 diesel oil. That easily could be true. Just scrubbing out the insides. And then of course the old timer that we bought the thing from, there's no way he did it on purpose, because that motor was so full of gasoline the crank had to have been turning in gasoline. And he ran it like that for a while. Not too very long, but long enough to put it on, to warm it up when we came to put it on the, well, Scott and Dad picked it up, but long enough to put it on the trailer. Yeah, he'd put a couple of gallons of gasoline in with the oil, and certainly circulated that through. And like I said, we switched it to an oil change using used motor oil, ran it for just a moment, and then put new in it. So this might be its third oil change since we got it. Granted, one of the oil changes was a used filter and you know, gently used motor oil. That's not good, and the smell is amazing. It clearly is full of carbon. My fear was that this thing was going to either be plugged, and it's not, or that I would see sparkles in it, and I don't. You know, in the oil filter, the way the dirty oil comes in the outside, through, and then up through the center. So this is where all the junk should collect. But I don't say anything. I'm optimistic. I think that on the grand scale, 1 through 10 of just how is the case, I think we've got to be 10 being a brand new machine as it left the showroom in 1967, and 1 being a boat anchor holding your boat at the dock in the river. I think I'm very optimistically putting it at like a 6.5 or a 7. Just means she's old and done many things and probably been severely abused. But she's a plucky old machine, starts nice and is happy just to keep ticking along. I mean, I'll let you know if it goes crunch, but I don't think the case is at all. I think it's just fine. Hey, this is a fun video. I've decided... Let's do that again, because you're a moron.